Have you ever one day started writing stuff down on your cell phone and got sent to the Hunger Games? No, I didn't think so. So today we have an anime review for the anime Mirai Nikki, or in English, The Future Diary. However, for this anime review, I'm going to do something special for you guys. If you haven't seen the anime already, then watch the video up until this point. Watching it up until that point will pretty much give you a first impression about it before I get into anything that will be a spoiler about the anime. But if you do want spoilers and you don't care if anything's spoiled for you, if you already seen the anime and you just want to see a review, then go to this point and watch the review from here. Go ahead. I can't keep this up for too long. Just click it. Click it, come on. So now for the first impression. My first impression on this anime was just simply, damn! I'm really sorry about that. It was much more hype than that, but I was in the moment, so I can't really act out the same way I was when I first saw the anime. Now, usually for a first impression, I watch the first 3 episodes, which I did, because it's a 26 episode anime, and I wanted to get at least some knowledge of it. But let me tell you this. Some anime go really slow. Some anime takes a while to get into the story, but this one got right into it. From the first 3 episodes, you want more. Oh god, you want more. You don't go for the first 3 episodes because it's so amazing. It's so awesome. I first started this because I saw some pictures on the internet of this girl, and she was looking quite badass. I didn't know who she was. She had pink hair and said that she's from this anime called Mirai Nikki. So I looked it up, and that was my next anime on my list. And boy, was it so much more action-packed than Blood Plus. And I come to find out that this anime has a good premise. It's essentially like the Hunger Games mixed with Death Note mixed with Elfen Lied. So if you haven't seen any 3 of those, then you might want to get on that because they're pretty damn awesome. It's like the Hunger Games because it's a contest for seeing who's the best. The last man survives. It's like Elfen Lied because, well, let's just say this. There's not gonna be an episode where there's not blood. Let's just put it that way. And it's like Death Note because it's a mystery. So it's like a thriller, mystery, contestant battle. Let's just put it that way for right now. And it's heart-stopping and adrenaline racing, and if this doesn't make you want to see this anime, I do not know what will. Look up pictures at least. They make me watch it, and it's really awesome. But I don't want to give off too much about the anime, so I'm going to have to cut it off right here. Now is when we watch for the spoilers. Awesome. So if you made it thus far, you most likely have seen the anime, and you know that it is badass. If you haven't seen the anime already, I'm going to give you some interesting notes that I have my thoughts on the anime overall. So the story starts off with Yukiteru. Yukiteru writes stuff in his diary, which is pretty much his cell phone. He writes down everything that he sees and everything around him, like, hey look, there's a dog taking a shit, gotta write that down. And he's pretty much just observing everything around him. He sees something, he sees people walking, he sees the clouds and everything around him, and he records it in his diary. And at first it made me think, who the hell uses diaries anymore, especially with a cell phone? But the point is, jump straight from that into this other world that Yukiteru goes into, where there's a god named Deus Ex Machina. That sounds really familiar. I don't know where the hell I've heard that from, but was it a movie? Did they get that from a movie? What the hell? And it's pretty much this god of time and space. So he controls time and space. He can pretty much reverse time and send it forward and do lots of things with it and control everything with this world. So what happens is Deus is dying, and he needs to have a successor to his throne so there can be another god of time and space after him. So he has a Hunger Games-like contest where it's a survival game, and there's 12 contestants, they all must battle each other, and the last man standing gets to be the next god of time and space. And the contest is this. You see this diary right here? So apparently, everybody gets these diaries, and there's 12 contestants who get these diaries. Some people already have their diaries and just got this ability to have future diaries, which is the ability to see the future. So everything that you write down in your diary, like, let's just say I'm Yukiteru. I write down shit like people walking to the mall. I see people walking to the mall, guess what? In my future diary, I get to see everything that happens around me but it's all in the future. So let's just say at some point in the day, I'm going to write down that I see some friends walking with me. It'll be in my diary before that shit even happens. What? So essentially you get the ability to see in the future. And it's different for everybody, which makes it so awesome. Oh my god. So Yukiteru's diary is called the Random Diary, and it's pretty much recording random things that are around him that he would usually write down in his diary. But the different people with different diaries do different things. Like this one girl, fucking Gasai. You're going to learn to love and hate this girl throughout this anime. Let me just say that right now. She is in love with Yukiteru, and she loves him so much and wants to bear his children and marry him someday. Oh god, it's so heartfelt, such a romantic story. But she's also a stalker, because her diary gets to see everything that Yukiteru's doing. So let's just say Yukiteru's about to go to the store. She will see that in her diary, and she will stalk the shit out of him, because she can. Don't ask. And it goes on and on from there, because Gasai actually wrote down in her diary things that Yukiteru did before she even got her future diary. So it all depends on what the user was doing with their diaries before. So wrote down stuff about Yukiteru, and well, she gets future diary stuff about Yukiteru. Another interesting thing about these future diaries is that they can also predict when you die, which is the turning point that I love about this anime. If you don't like seeing people get mauled and slaughtered and killed in multiple different ways, then I recommend that you do not watch this anime whatsoever. So moving on, the first episode, for example, is pretty much like their teacher is a future diary owner, meaning, of course, that he's trying to kill either or Yukiteru. So he goes out hunting for him, and at the end of the episode, his teacher dies. But how did he die? His cell phone broke. That's right, if your cell phone breaks in this anime, it really is the difference between life and death. So y'all niggas with iPhones, I feel bad for y'all. Real bad. Drop that shit on the ground, you dead. For real. So the anime pretty much goes on like that throughout the entire series. Pretty much, and Yukiteru team up. They get together because they're the perfect team. Yuki can see everything around him, so he can always predict the future about what's about to happen to people around him, or who's about to do what around him. And can see everything that's about to happen to Yukiteru, so if he's about to die, she'll see it on her phone, and she can prevent it from happening. So yes, the Hunger Games, I get it. Pita and fucking Katniss protecting each other, and at the end they have to kill each other, blah blah blah, I get it. But essentially this anime is a love story. It's basically a love story, that's what it is. But all this death and gore and madness is around that love story, and it makes it so much better. Take that, Twilight. Better love story. What? And the thing I love the most about this anime is the blood and the carnage. I don't want to give away everything, but as soon as you start seeing people die, it's the best thing about the anime. And especially when goes insane. When goes insane, how will that happen? Well, it turns out that she's a fucking deranged psycho killer. And I'm not going to say too much about her because I don't want to spoil anything about the ending. But seeing them go through everything and killing each one of the contestants in this game is really interesting, and it's awesome how each and every person in some way connects back to one another. And by the end, you'll see that each and every character isn't exactly useless. They're all used in a certain way that all makes them connected back to each other. And aside from that, all the characters are unique and very creative. And in each way they kill people, each way that their diaries are used, each way that their character personality is just amazing. Like, you will feel for at least one of these characters. Even if it's not the main characters, you'll be able to relate to some of these characters in some sort of way. So for this twisted thriller, I have to say it's one of the best anime I've seen in a long time. And I haven't been keeping up with anime that much lately, but it really is one of the best anime I've seen in a long time. Straight from like the first 3 episodes, I can definitely say that this anime kicks major ass. And the pacing in this anime is really good. I would say in the first 3 episodes, it definitely does a good job with making you want to see more. It's just later on, like in the middle of the series, when things start to slow down a little bit, and it kind of gets slower near the end too. But definitely does a good job of pulling you in and making you want more. So for this anime, I give it a big thumbs up, and if you guys ever have the chance, watch this. It's only 26 episodes. I finished this within 2 days, really. It was just that good. I had to finish it in 2 days. I couldn't pull myself away from it. And if that isn't good enough for you, then there's boobies. Yep, there's fan service in this anime, and it's not like overly fan service where it's just like boobs everywhere all on your face. Unless you watch the uncensored version, but then again, it's still not exactly all up in your face. Exactly. But yeah, some episodes do have fan service, and if you do want to see that, then go ahead, watch the uncensored version. But be warned, if you do watch the uncensored version, you might see some blood and gore that you weren't even hoping to see. But anyways, this video is getting way too long. So put a comment down below if you do want to see this anime, or if you have already seen this anime, and tell me your thoughts on this review or the anime overall. So for now, it's me, Naruto Gandhi, saying stay gold, and please don't write no damn diaries. Have you learned nothing? God.